There's one sign that appears before all the others, before the phone goes face down, before she stops wanting intimacy, before she picks fights. This sign shows up first, and 99% of men completely miss it because they're not looking in the right place. I'm talking about the moment when everything is still normal on the surface. She's still affectionate, still texting throughout the day, still planning the future with you. But underneath, something fundamental has shifted. And if you know what to look for, you can see it clear as day. Today I'm breaking down exactly what that first sign is, why men miss it, what it reveals about female psychology, and what you should do if you see it. This could save you from months of being played while thinking everything is fine. Pay close attention. This matters. The first sign: unexplained emotional energy and excitement. The very first sign she's developing interest in someone else is a sudden increase in general happiness and energy that has no clear source connected to you or her normal life. She seems lighter, more energized, smiling at her phone more often, humming while doing routine tasks, dressing slightly better even for mundane activities. She's got a glow, an excitement, a spring in her step that wasn't there before. Here's what's happening psychologically. She's experiencing the rush of new attention. Someone new is texting her, complimenting her, making her feel desired in ways that feel fresh and exciting. The dopamine hit from this new attention creates elevated mood and energy. This stage happens before any physical cheating. It's the emotional affair beginning. She's not sleeping with anyone yet. She might not even be consciously aware she's developing feelings. But her psychology is responding to new romantic attention, and it shows. Most men miss this sign completely because it seems positive. She's happy. She seems more alive. He assumes things are good, maybe attributes it to something at work going well, or a new hobby she's enjoying. He doesn't recognize it for what it actually is: excitement about someone else. The key distinction is that this happiness and energy has no clear connection to your relationship or anything specific she can explain. If you ask what's got her in such a good mood, the answers are vague. Just feeling good. Nothing specific. Just happy today. This vagueness is the tell. Genuine happiness connected to legitimate sources gets explained specifically. Got great feedback at work. My friend shared good news. I'm excited about this project. But the elevated mood from new romantic attention can't be explained honestly, so it stays vague. Here's the psychological mechanism. When a woman starts receiving attention from a new man, especially if your relationship has become routine or stale, it creates intense emotional activation. The attention feels special, exciting, dangerous. Her brain releases dopamine and other chemicals associated with new attraction. This chemical response elevates her overall mood. She's getting an emotional high that affects her entire day, not just the moments she's interacting with the other person. The anticipation of the next message, the excitement of the secret attention, the validation of being desired creates persistent good mood. The cruelty of this sign is that she might actually be nicer to you during this phase. The emotional high makes her more patient, more affectionate, less critical. She's happy because of someone else, but you benefit from her elevated mood. This makes men completely blind to what's actually happening. Why men miss this sign completely. There are specific reasons why 99% of men fail to recognize this first sign even when it's happening right in front of them. First, it contradicts the cheating narrative men expect. Men think cheating starts with distance, coldness, pulling away. But the first stage is often the opposite: increased happiness and energy. This contradicts expectations so thoroughly that men don't even consider it. Second, men interpret her good mood as a sign the relationship is healthy. She's happy, so things must be good between you. This logical assumption blinds men to the possibility that her happiness has nothing to do with you or the relationship. Third, the human brain naturally attributes effects to the most obvious causes. She's happy and you're her partner, so her happiness must be related to you. The brain doesn't naturally jump to, she's happy because someone else is giving her attention. That requires active suspicion, which most trusting men don't have yet. Fourth, there's no concrete evidence at this stage. Nothing to point to. No court lies, no suspicious behavior beyond vague good mood. Men who operate on evidence and logic can't act on just a feeling that something's off about her unexplained happiness. Fifth, most men don't understand female psychology deeply enough to recognize what's happening. They don't know that women often develop emotional connections before physical ones. They don't realize the dopamine hit from new attention creates observable mood changes. They're psychologically illiterate about the early stages of female infidelity. Sixth, men don't want to believe it. Even if the thought crosses their mind that her happiness seems disconnected from anything in her visible life, they dismiss it because confronting that possibility is uncomfortable. Denial is more comfortable than investigation. Seventh, this stage is genuinely ambiguous. It could be new attention from another man, or it could be genuine good things happening in her life, or it could be nothing, just a good mood phase. The ambiguity makes action difficult and second-guessing easy. The combination of these factors creates perfect conditions for this sign to go completely unnoticed. By the time more obvious signs appear and men start paying attention, the emotional affair has already solidified and physical cheating may have already begun. The psychology behind the pattern. Understanding why this pattern emerges requires understanding how women develop attraction and how emotional affairs evolve. Women typically develop emotional connections before physical ones. A man who triggers her attention first becomes someone she thinks about, looks forward to hearing from, shares things with mentally before any physical interaction happens. This emotional connection phase creates the excitement and elevated mood you're observing. She's experiencing the rush of new attraction. The same feelings she had when you first started dating are now being triggered by someone else. The attention feels especially powerful if your relationship has become routine. When daily life is predictable and comfortable, new attention provides stark contrast. It feels exciting precisely because it's different from the stable but potentially boring dynamic with you. There's also the element of secrecy. Even if nothing physical has happened, the fact that she's receiving attention she's not telling you about creates a sense of having something private and special. This secret creates its own excitement, independent of the attention itself. Psychologically, she might rationalize this stage as harmless. We're just friends. It's just nice to have someone to talk to. Nothing is happening. These rationalizations allow her to enjoy the attention without acknowledging she's developing inappropriate emotional connection. The elevated mood you're seeing is her psychological state responding to all of this. New attention, contrast to routine, the thrill of secrecy, and the validation of being desired. Her brain is flooding with chemicals that make her feel alive in ways she perhaps hasn't felt in your relationship recently. This is also why women often become more affectionate with their partners during early emotional affairs. The good feelings overflow. They're not yet at the stage of guilt or distance. They're just enjoying the high, and it makes them generally more positive, which includes being nicer to you. Understanding this psychology helps explain why this sign appears first and why it's so reliable. Before any physical cheating, before obvious lies and suspicious behavior, there's this phase where her psychology is responding to new romantic attention in ways that show if you know what to look for. The specific behaviors to watch for. The first sign manifests through specific observable behaviors beyond just general happiness. Here are the exact things to watch for. Increased phone checking with elevated mood responses. She looks at her phone and smiles, gets a message, and her whole face lights up. The phone creates visible, positive emotional responses that seem disproportionate to what you'd expect from normal messages. More attention to appearance for everyday activities. She's putting more effort into how she looks for routine things, grocery shopping, going to work, running errands. This increased effort isn't explained by any upcoming special events or specific reasons she can articulate. She's distracted, but in a happy way. Her mind is somewhere else frequently, but when you pull her attention back, she's in a good mood, rather than irritated at being interrupted. She's daydreaming, and those daydreams are pleasant. Increased secrecy about mundane things. She's suddenly vague about her day, who she talked to, what she did during hours you're not together. Not because she's hiding specific events, but because she's hiding conversations and interactions with someone specific. She mentions a new person casually but repeatedly. This guy at work, or my friend from the gym, starts appearing in conversations more than necessary. She's testing the waters, making this person's existence normal in your awareness. Energy level that doesn't match her actual schedule. She seems more energized and awake despite her schedule being the same, or even more demanding. The energy is coming from emotional stimulation, not from reduced stress or better sleep. Increased interest in activities that take her out of the house or away from you. Suddenly wants to go to the gym more often, has more after-work commitments, finds more reasons to be doing things that create time and space away from your presence. She's less bothered by things that used to frustrate her. Her general mood elevation makes her more patient with everyday annoyances. This seems positive, but the source is what matters. She's too happy from other attention to let small things bother her. These specific behaviors, occurring together without clear explanation, create the pattern that reveals the first sign is present. What to do if you see this sign? Recognizing the first sign creates a dilemma. You don't have proof, just a pattern that concerns you. Here's the strategic approach. First, don't immediately accuse. You'll get denial and potentially push her to be more careful about hiding things. Instead, increase your awareness and observation. Start paying closer attention to patterns without revealing your suspicion. Document what you're seeing, not obsessively, but note patterns. When does her mood elevate? What triggers the phone smiles? When does she mention the new person? Patterns reveal truth more than single incidents. Create opportunities for honesty. Ask open questions about her happiness. You seem really energized lately. What's going on? Her response and body language provide information. Vague answers combined with defensive body language confirm concern. Specific, open answers with relaxed energy suggest innocence. Invest in the relationship. Sometimes early emotional affairs fizzle if the primary relationship improves. Increased attention, date nights, genuine engagement can sometimes redirect her. Emotional energy back to you before anything physical happens. But also, prepare yourself mentally. If the signs continue and worsen, you need to be ready to investigate more directly and potentially make hard decisions. Don't bury your head hoping it goes away. Consider direct conversation once you have enough pattern observation. I've noticed you've been happier and more distracted lately, and it seems disconnected from anything we're doing together. Is there something I should know about? Her response to this direct question tells you everything. Genuine innocence responds with openness and explanation. Guilty conscience responds with defensiveness, deflection, and anger that you'd even ask. If you confirm the emotional affair through investigation or confession, immediate action is required. Demand complete transparency, ending contact with the other person, and relationship counseling if you want to try saving things. Half measures don't work. but also be prepared to walk away. If she's not willing to cut contact completely and work on the relationship she's already chosen, your self-respect requires recognizing when recovery isn't possible. The first sign that 99% of men completely miss: unexplained emotional energy and happiness that has no clear source connected to you or her normal life. She's lighter, more energized, glowing, but can't or won't explain why. This appears before all other signs because it's the emotional affair stage before physical cheating. She's receiving attention from someone new. The dopamine and excitement from that attention elevates her entire mood. Most men miss this because it seems positive and contradicts expectations about how cheating begins. The pattern is reliable because of female psychology. Women develop emotional connections before physical ones. The excitement of new attention creates observable mood changes before any physical betrayal occurs. Men miss this sign because it contradicts expectations, seems positive, lacks concrete evidence, and requires understanding female psychology most men don't have. By the time obvious signs appear, emotional and physical affairs are already established. If you see this sign, increase awareness, document patterns, create opportunities for honesty, invest in the relationship, but prepare for hard truth. Direct conversation about what you're observing is necessary once patterns are clear. Understanding this sign doesn't guarantee you'll catch cheating early or prevent it, but it gives you a fighting chance to recognize the problem at the emotional stage before it becomes physical, when intervention might still work. The deeper truth: this sign often reveals relationship vulnerabilities that made her susceptible to outside attention. Addressing those vulnerabilities is necessary whether you're saving this relationship or learning for the next. Stay aware. Trust patterns over individual incidents. And remember, unexplained happiness often has an explanation you're not going to like.